Hello and welcome to I Can't Say It Day 301. Welcome. It's good to have you back again. If you made it through yesterday's 15-minute monologue, which I believe is a record for I Can't Say It, then congratulations. And welcome. I don't think I've had any views on that page yet, on that date, but that's okay. Yesterday was day 300, and so, when it comes to numbers that are multiples of 100, you make a big deal about them. What's the last number that we had that ended in the year that ended with a couple of zeros? Was 2000. And boy, was that a big year. Whew! All those preparations for Y2K. Kids these days will never know what was going on then. Funny enough, huh? So, last week I had made a list of the goals that I wanted to accomplish for the week, and I made some progress on a good many of them. I did not finish them all, but I always kept them at my desk. They were always there, so I always knew what it was that I wanted to achieve. So I've printed out my weekly calendar for this week, and come Monday morning, that is the first thing I am going to do, is I'm going to look at the goals that need to be done and make progress on them. If I can complete them, so much the better. So that's going to be step one, is going to be organizing my Getting Organized spreadsheet that I've been using for keeping track of duties and responsibilities so that I don't forget things. But forgetting still happens, but at least there is a process by which I will hopefully decrease the number of items that I forget. That is what I'm going to do come Monday morning. And then we have guests coming from China, so that means that we might have to go out to lunch, which is going to be okay, I guess, but they usually take so much longer. And I always enjoy reading during lunch and then walking out and practicing some German and, going and hanging out with coworkers and eating lunch isn't the most exciting thing. It's okay. It's just that I have started a new book, and I am looking forward to getting through the next 130 chapters of it. I finished chapter 1, and boy, was it a doozy. As I told you, I am reading Moby Dick by Herman Melville, and so it's going to take some time to get through the book. But I'm trying to first get used to the pace and the way that he's writing, because chapter 1 was just all about being out on the sea and whales. So... I am hoping to enjoy this book, and I so far think I'm going to. It's just going to take some time, and so chapter 2 is coming up next. Chapter 1 was called Loomings, I think, talking about how Ishmael, he seems to live in New York, Manhattan, and that there's just this strong drive to go to the sea, not as a passenger, because that way you have to spend money, not as a captain because you're in charge of the ship, but really just as a deckhand of some sort. I am looking forward to that. So that's why, I kind of like having lunches to myself, because it's just nice quiet time. I can just sit there and just read, because I finished the last book, which was on Annie Londonderry, who rode her bike around the world. She didn't really ride it around the world. She rode it from from New York to Chicago, from Chicago to New York, and then through France, then from San Francisco, some of the way back to Chicago again. The rest of the time she was on trains and boats and whatnot. But it was an interesting story because it took place in 1894, 1895. And it was done by her nephew or grand nephew. I forget how the work goes that way. But if you go this way, it's like his second great grand aunt. And this, unfortunately, he didn't dig deep into what motivated her to do this, because the author had to go on was newspaper articles, conversations with her granddaughter, which he was able to meet, and other people that had done a little bit of research, and her scrapbook. And I don't know if he was able to interview other people that knew her. And so you didn't really get a full picture of what she was like. You got a picture of what she did, but not who the person was behind all those actions. And so that was one thing that was just a little disappointing. However, it was a good story nevertheless. Makes you, want to get up on your bike and ride. But my bike isn't currently working just yet. So one thing I also have to work on is budget. And I will be taking care of that tomorrow as well. Okay, well, lots of things to take care of. It's coming up on 11 o'clock, so I'm going to wish you all a pleasant week ahead. Make some goals, get some stuff done, feel good about it, so that when you get to the end of the week, you can say, yes, this was a good week. That is always a great accomplishment. So with that, I'm going to wish you all a pleasant evening, and I see you all tomorrow.